My Lowrider ST, bags off. Let's get into it. Alright, what's going on YouTube? FXDLS Brooklyn is back in the building. Coming at you live from some New York wilderness out here. What a beautiful day it is. You cannot beat this. This video is in response to one of my subscribers that wrote in. Shout out to Tommy FLH, who was curious about the new Lowrider ST, and specifically he was asking me if it actually makes a difference performance-wise to strip the bags off when you can. And a lot of the riding I've been doing on this bike this summer, I actually have been riding without the bags, so I figured why not address this topic right now while I'm doing a rip right now without the bags. Off the bat, there's definitely some performance gains I could talk about stripping the bags, and for my situation, because I do a lot of two-up riding, I didn't just strip the bags, but I'm also stripping the sissy bar with the back rack, which is a significant amount of weight. But as you can see, when you strip the bags off this bike, it actually looks like a completely different bike. You know, I want to call it naked. It is naked for a Lowrider ST, but I'm not going to call a bike with a fairing like this by any means naked, but it makes it look like a completely different bike. And this is something I actually do on my Dyna Lowrider S. Every situation I can, if I don't need to run bags in a sissy bar, I often strip them off. And in this video, I'll tell you why it actually does make sense to do that. So yeah. Aesthetically, definitely looks like a completely different bike, which is just a cool thing. Someone in my comment section said they like the fact that Harley Davidson allowed the bags to be detachable because it almost feels like you're having two different bikes, and I actually kind of agree with that. So let's start this old Lowrider ST up and hop on this thing, and I'll tell you a little bit about why it does actually make sense to strip those bags when you have the opportunity. And obviously there are some essentials that I do take when I'm not running my side bags. Like I do have emergency first aid over here. This is great. This actually comes from Dan the fireman. And then I just have some other essentials here in my bar bag that fits a lot. All right, let's get that started up. All right, take that. Alright, so if you've ever felt the stock Lowrider ST bags, as well as the Harley Davidson sissy bar plus back rack, then you know that combining all three of those things, it actually does add up to be a pretty significant amount of weight, right? So when you take that stuff off the bike, believe it or not, you actually are cutting a pretty significant amount of weight off of the bike. So what I notice when I do that, right, is first off, you're gonna notice it most if you're riding in roads like I'm riding right now. I'm talking like backcountry roads, you know, where you got some curves, you got some sweepers, you got this and that. That's one situation where I definitely will notice the bike will definitely feel more nimble. You'll definitely be able to throw the bike around a lot easier. It'll want to sink into curves a little bit easier. And again, that's due to you shedding weight. Like that's the first thing I definitely notice. Like this curve right here, that's sweet, man. The other thing is you definitely, I feel like in general, like I said, the bike is a little bit more nimble. So what that means is I feel like slightly noticeably the bike is going to pick up and go a little bit faster, right? And then the one thing, which is one of the big reasons why I like to strip my bags and my sissy bar every chance that I get, is I actually noticed that you could definitely stop the bike a lot faster. And there's a lot to be said about that, especially where I'm riding right now. Like this is 100% deer country America, so there in every ride that I do, there's usually a situation where I'm going to have to stop the bike in a pinch, and every edge I could get in a situation where if we're talking about deer or we're talking about something unexpected, if I could add to my stopping power, I will definitely do that. Invest in your brakes, man. Invest in your brakes. So, in short, to answer the question of why, if it does make a difference to strip the bags on the Lowrider SD, it definitely does. I'll tell you, it definitely makes a difference, which is why, you know, this bike, once again, was a home run from Harley Davidson, and the design on those bags to make them quick detach, very smart, Harley, very smart. One of the reasons why I run Leather Pros on all my other bikes is to have the option to quickly detach the bags if I need to. So it makes a difference. It's going to make your bike feel more nimble. It's going to make it go, it's going to make it accelerate a little bit faster. It's definitely going to make it stop faster in a pinch. So what I would say is, if you are just going to be hitting, say, highway miles for your entire day, then I don't know if you're necessarily going to feel the difference as much if you're just, you know, riding mostly in a straight line on the highway. Say you're like touring on the long road. But I would say in the urban riding, in the backcountry roads, if you know that you're doing that type of riding and you're not going to be having a passenger and you're not going to have the need to run side bags, then like I said, those are the situations where I actually do think it is worth it to take literally 1 minute to take those bags off. So yeah, once again, Tommy FLH, thanks for the question. I hope that answers it. Whether you are running your bike naked or whether you are running with some bags, stay safe and stay low. And on that, FXDLS Brooklyn is out.